separately and part of the Build Back Better package in the House. But we all know what happened to that in the United States Senate. It's where too often bills go to die. And yet I'm going to tell you we can't let it happen. And the reason it is so important that you all are here from all across the country. Because you are the voices that have to be heard, that demand action, demand accountability, and say we must get action. If you are a senior or you are someone that has disabilities, you just need somebody to care. Some people just need a little helping hand, help with getting dressed or getting food and making sure your meds are okay or taking you to the doctor. You deserve to be able to stay in your own home where you've lived your entire life in the community where you are known and people know you. Right now, our healthcare system is targeted at institutional settings, which are too big. We don't pay people enough. Too many people got COVID in them. There wasn't enough accountability, and people didn't have anybody that cared. We need home care workers that will be that person that loves, shows compassion, shows empathy. You know, unfortunately, I was a caregiver, but it was fortunate that I was married to the best person you could ever have been married to. I had the love affair of my life. And then the last few years, he suffered from health issues. And by the way, you know, at first, he just needed that little helping hand. And at the end, he couldn't be left alone. I want to tell you, those first few days when he got sick, he was in the hospital, I was desperate. I couldn't, you know, we have a broken system that you can't navigate. You ask for answers, you don't get them. You just keep asking questions. I finally pounded my head against the wall. By the way, if you get sick 90 days and that's it, you can't get, and I kept pushing all the numbers because you couldn't get through to a human being. And I finally started crying and gave up and called my congresswoman, which I don't normally do, but I called me. And I started, and I'm luckier than 99 and 9/10 of the people in this country. And if I can't make the system work, think of what it's like for others. I need Christine, who was my main caregiver with John, is my family. She is my sister now. And as we needed to get more help, I learned so many things about this broken, fragmented system. We don't pay you enough. I paid a living wage and I paid benefits because without that, with care, all other work is possible. You cannot go to work if you are worried about a loved one. And we need to make sure that we are paying people what they are worth and the importance to what they are to us. And it shouldn't be only the wealthy that can afford it. Not that I'm like, whatever, but he had a job, I had a job, and I'm luckier than most. And then you start meeting people that were wonderful, that are working 2 jobs and still living below the poverty line. People that are going in and out because they can't get one job. They're in and out of 3 or 4 settings a week, and at times, not intentionally, potentially carrying germs and viruses. And you can't find people. This was before the pandemic because we don't pay them enough. We didn't give them what they needed. We've got to fix that in this country. And that's what we are trying to do with this bill. If you are seasoned, we're not old, they're seasoned. If you have worked and lived a full life, you deserve a safe, secure retirement and the support that you need in the setting of your choice. And if you are a caregiver, you deserve to be paid what you're worth to get your benefits and not have to worry. And so I am not going to stop fighting. I love that man. I'll tell you something about the man that I loved. His father was the author of Social Security. Think about that. You should have seen the things they said about him when they were passing Social Security. And he introduced John's father introduced the first universal health care bill in the early 1940s.
Wow. It took from 1940 to
1965 to get Social Security. Medicare, Medicare. But they never gave up. They never stopped fighting. They didn't stop making their voices heard. And if you don't give up, if you make people accountable, you can get the job done. And now, my friends, we're nearing that finish line. We got it through the House. We actually have a majority of votes in the Senate. We just got to get them to vote. We got to get this piece recognized and how important it is for every American. And we got to get it done. And we're only going to get it done by you going and holding your elected officials, no matter what party, accountable. You need to tell them how it makes a difference in people's lives and in your lives and what you are worth. You are the most important people in the world. You keep those that we love safe and healthy. Give them love. Give them what they need. So we need to go show some love, but do it with a kick in the ass. And say, care can't wait. Care can't wait. Care can't wait. Can't wait. Care can't. I'm going to be there with you. We're going to get it done. The time is now. Let's get it over the finish line.
Good afternoon. This will be a brief bilingual message. We want all participants that are able to access the program in Spanish to please log in via a barcode that we have. So we'll be passing that around. Please look for this young lady right here or the young lady in the back. They actually have the barcode. You can go and scan. Okay. Tenemos el código QR para que puedan participar y escuchar en español, que somos intérpretes de habla hispana. Así que estamos aquí atrás con el código QR para que puedan escuchar en español por Zoom. Muchas gracias a todos por su participación.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Let me see if everybody's woke up this morning. Everybody say, care can't wait. Care can't wait. I can't hear y'all. Care can't wait. Say. Care can't wait. All right, we are Baltimore Urban Inspirational Choir, and we just came to join in on the celebration with you guys as we protest and continue to rally for Care Can't Wait. We're going to sing a song that's called Wake Up Everybody. Look at somebody and say, wake up everybody. Wake up everybody. Look at somebody else and say, wake up everybody. Wake up everybody. All right, let's go, let's go. Woo. B-U-I-C. They lit.
it. We love it.
All right.
Thank you.
Right.
Come on, everybody. Sleeping in bed. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. Cause they're the ones who's coming up and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. Yeah. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. Just you and me. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Ooh. Come on, y'all. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, people, well. Woo. Ooh, wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds. Surely things will work out, cause they do every time. Yeah. The world won't get no better, no. If we just let it be. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. Just you and me. Ooh, 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 yeah. Ooh. Wake up, hey, hey, hey. Wake up, everybody. Wake up, hey. Wake up, everybody. Hey, hey, hey. Come on, y'all, hey, hey. If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Hey, hey. If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Hey, hey, hey. Woo! Hey, hey. Come on, y'all, say, hey, hey. Just clap like this, just clap like this. Come on, hey. Stay woke, they be creeping. Don't let them fool you. Hey, catch you sleeping. Stay woke, they be creeping. Don't let them fool you. Catch you sleeping. Stay woke, they be creeping. Don't you close your eyes. Stay woke, they be creeping. Don't let them fool you. Catch you sleeping. Don't you close your eyes. Stay woke, stay woke. You gotta stay woke. You better stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. Baby creeping. Don't you close your eyes. Stay woke. I see.
I don't know if I got a mic drop in me, Michelle, but I will do my best. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm still on West Coast time, but I'm going to try to keep the energy up. Good morning, good afternoon, good people. I am April Verrett, and that's Tina Randall, my my very own cheering squad. But I am proud and privileged to be the president of SEIU Local 2015, our nation's largest long-term care workers union, representing 425,000 home care and nursing home workers across the great state of California. And I also have the privilege to serve as an international vice president for our national union, and I chair our National Home Care Council that represents over 700,000 home care workers across the nation. All of you all to represent that National Home Care Council, so thank you so much for being here today. It is really my honor to be here with all of you and to be joined by our allies and partners and care champions who have been fighting tirelessly for oh so long to fix our broken care system, to fix it, to transform it into a system of care that works for those of us who deliver the care as well as those of us who need the care. I want to thank our champion, Representative Debbie Dingell. Let's give it up for her, who, along with Senator Bob Casey, who we will hear from later, together, the two of them introduced the Better Care, Better Jobs Act and have fought alongside caregivers and consumers and advocates for the federal investment in care. This is just the beginning of the fight, and we will continue to fight and stand strong until we ensure that we deliver and bring that care investment home to our communities. Will we not? I also want to give a shout out to our partners, the Little Lobbyists, who have bravely shared their stories in this fight for a care economy that works for all. What a beautiful sight to see all of you amazing folks who showed up today in your purple, right? Wearing our colors proudly. And I don't know about you all, but I have missed this type of fellowship over the last couple of years. And it's amazing to be all together again. Care workers, caregivers, and consumers from across the country, from Virginia to West Virginia, to Georgia, to Pennsylvania, to Oregon, to California, to Illinois, and a whole lot of other places in between. We are all here together to bring our demands for an investment in care to our Congress. We are here to say that care is essential. And we are essential, are we not? I said care is essential. And we are essential. And in this moment, we just can't pay lip service, right, and talk about how essential we are if we don't stand up and demand that folks deliver and prove how essential we are by investing in our work and in our programs, right? I don't need your pizza, right? They want to come out and deliver us pizzas. That's great, right? The hazard pay, that was great, but we need long-term pay. If you can pay me during a pandemic, you can pay me after the pandemic, right? But we have a shot, you all. We have a shot to truly begin reshaping our economy into one that works for us, that centers home care workers, that centers women and women of color, Black, brown, API, indigenous, white, an economy that centers all of us, that brings those of us who have been at the margins, bring us to the center. Make it about us for once and for all, right? We know that this work is our calling, and an investment in our work is an investment in us. It's an investment in all of us who call this country home. We know that our work is a calling, but it is more than just that. Care workers are the true center of a care economy, one that will work for all of us. And it is time that we are treated as such. Care workers need to be paid. We need to be respected. We need to be protected. We need to be valued, right? We need some of them to love us the way we love all of them. Am I right? We need to be paid enough and have benefits and access to training and protections that actually demonstrate the value of the work that we do and that allow us not just to survive, but to thrive. We need to create more good jobs for women, more good jobs for women of color. We need to expand access to care because we know that care is what's needed to make the economy work, right? People can't go off to their jobs if they're worried about who's taking care of their children, if they're worried about who's taking care of their parents, of that auntie, of that tio, right? We need the care so that our economy is one that truly works for all. We need to ensure that seniors and that people with different abilities who need care aren't forced onto waiting lists, aren't worried about who's going to come fix them their next meal, aren't worried about how long they got to sit in that soiled diaper, right? We need to expand services so that people can get the care that they need to live their lives in dignity. And we need to do this so that others can get back to work and that our communities and our economy that got stalled, because some of us are still waiting on the recovery, right? Some of us are still waiting on the recovery, not just from the pandemic, but hell, from the recession of, a few 4 times ago. Some of us have never been able to make it in this economy, and it's not getting any better. Hell, they ask me all the time, well, what are your members doing about the price of milk? Oh, gas is so expensive. Well, it's always been expensive. It's always made us, have to take pause at how much milk and bread and bacon cost. This isn't new to us, right? We've always had to struggle, and we're tired of struggling. And that's why we are here today. Full stop is non-negotiable. We will not be turned around until we win the investment in us that we deserve. A targeted investment that uplifts a majority of women of color workforce that has never been valued or held as important in this country. work that my grandmother and her mother did back when we were enslaved, right? Work that immigrant women have done for generations and generations. And we've been told that it wasn't valuable work, but they sure in the hell needed us to do it, did they not? They sure needed us to do it. Because you may have seen the news this week, our fundamental rights are under attack. Our democracy is under attack, right? It was just a year ago, this building, right, was under siege on January 6th. And just this week, we learned of the disgraceful decision to roll back Roe versus Wade, right? And it's not lost on me that as we stand here today to rally and demand an investment in care, we're really rallying and demanding an investment in women, are we not? And the Roe versus Wade decision is just another attack on women. And so as we demonstrate our power today as a majority women of color workforce, let us also lift up our voices and demand that we are allowed the freedom to choose how we want to have health care for our bodies, right? Because we know our fight as women will continue to push on. And once again, it's working people who will be most impacted by this horrible Supreme Court decision. And in particular, Black women and brown women and immigrant women and indigenous women who know that our lives are less likely to have the resources that we need to cross state lines to get the reproductive health care we need and deserve. The same women who have power in our economy. That is who we fight for. That is who we are, right? And that is who we will continue to be. And we won't back down now, right? Our demands for economic justice and racial justice that include intersectional issues like a woman's right to choose are working people's issues, and we grapple with them on a daily basis. So together, we are here to raise our voices to demand that Congress fix our broken care system, to create hundreds of thousands of high-quality union jobs. Somebody said high-quality union jobs. Look at y'all. Y'all own it today. Hey. To ensure that everyone who needs care can have access to it to live in dignity in the setting of their choice. To move racial and gender justice forward and unrig the rules of our economy. This today is about Congress's responsibility to working people, to deliver on the investment that we were promised, that we deserve, and that we demand. Working families of all races across this country, we know what's good for us, and we won't back down until we get it. Care workers of all backgrounds are saying no more blank checks. You showed up and you showed out in the election in 2020, and you are going to show up and show out in the election in 2022, are you not? Now, the Senate and the House needs to show up and show out for us. They need to show up and show out for working people and for families. They need to do it before they go back home asking for our vote. We together can build a more resilient, inclusive, and equitable economy by investing in care. And let me tell you, and I'll say it again, we will not stop until we win. We will not stop until we get it. Home care can't wait, and racial and gender justice can't wait. An economy that works for all of us can't wait. We can't wait as workers. We can't wait as people with different abilities. We can't wait as families and as seniors. It's time for Congress to deliver. It's time for us to continue to take our rightful place at the center of this economy and make sure we are as valued as in the light of all of those who need us as we know that we are. So we will continue to lift our voices. We will continue to rally. We will continue to fight. Let's go get it, SEIU. Do that. All right, thank you. So we're going to hear from the voices of care workers today. And the first one we're going to hear from is LaTanya Allen. LaTanya has been a home care worker for over 35 years. She is fighting for her right to join a union. She's a non-union worker. She traveled here all the way from Georgia to be here today. She cares for her daughter, Lakeisha, who lives with cerebral palsy. Thank you, LaTanya, for being here to share your story and fight for a care system and an economy that works for everyone. And after LaToya, we're going to hear from Brittany Wilson. Am I saying that right? That's not how. Brittany? Okay. That's a lot of letters. But we're going to hear from Brittany Wilson. Brittany is a woman who lives with disability. She's a disability rights advocate, and home care consumer. She traveled all the way from Minnesota to be here today with the Minnesota Council on Disability. And we want to thank Brittany for being here and sharing her story. So LaTanya and then Brittany.
Good afternoon, home care workers. I said good afternoon, home care workers. I'm LaTanya Allen, and I'm an essential home care worker from Stockbridge, Georgia. I'm here today arm in arm with people who depend on us for care to demand Congress make home care affordable and make sure home care workers are respected, protected, and paid. Because care workers and our clients are in crisis and inaction is not an option. I take care of my daughter, Lakeisha. She was born with cerebral palsy. I take care of her as well as others who depend on us. When Lakeisha was an adult, we were able to get a home care nurse to come into my home and care for her. That let me go back to school and become a CNA so I can become a home care nurse for others. A job I've been doing for over 7 years now. If Congress doesn't act, consumers could suffer. Care is essential, and we will all need it in the future. Transforming care jobs into good union jobs mean that more home care workers like me can afford to do this important work. In order to stay on this job, I need to be paid enough to afford the basics of what my family needs, especially as prices rises. Better wages, benefits, and the right to join a union will change my life. This is a majority women of color workforce we're talking about is long past time due. That the black, brown, white, Asian, and immigrant women like me were respected, protected, and paid, and treated as the essential workers we are. It's time for Congress to deliver what families truly need. An investment in home care. This is about creating and building towards durable long-term care system, one where care jobs are family, sustaining union careers, and people and families who want to stay in their homes, communities, are actually able to access the affordable care that they need. Workers like me, along with people across the nation who depend on care, are speaking with one voice to say, care can't wait. We're going to keep speaking out together so Congress finishes the job and gets President Biden's economic agenda signed into law. When we fight, we win. Thank you, home care workers. Now I'd like to pass things off to my friend on stage, Brittany.
Woo! Hello, can you hear me? I'm probably gonna break something. Thank you so much. All right, can you hear me? Woo! When we fight! When we fight! Woo! All right. Hello and good afternoon. My name is Brittany Wilson. My pronouns are she, her. I am a home care client and proud disabled woman of color. It is an honor and privilege to be here with you all today. And thank you, SEIU Healthcare Minnesota and Iowa, for inviting me to help represent the tens of thousands of healthcare workers and consumers who rely on these critical services. Woo! Home care labor has provided a literal lifeline to many in the disability and elder communities, especially those of color. I was born with a disability and used this wheelchair to maneuver around in the world. Having quality home care is the reason I was able to move away from home and go to college. Quality and reliable home care is the reason I've been able to find full-time work to support myself. Quality home care is the reason I've been able to live my life how I want. But finding caregivers is difficult. And throughout this pandemic, I have struggled every day to face reality that the life that I've worked so hard for to build could crumble at any moment if my PCA gets sick or quits because they found a job with livable wages and benefits. Anyone who relies on home care to survive knows this reality. And that's why I'm here with LaTanya and everyone today to fight for my life and those in my community who need these critical services. Because care can't wait. We can't wait any longer. It's time for Congress to deliver on the promises they made. We need to pass President Biden's economic agenda and invest in home care. I don't care whether you are from a red state, a blue state, or a purple state. We cannot ignore the long-term care crisis any longer. Not one Republican, not a single one, will join us to support people with disabilities and seniors. Boo! To create good jobs for our communities and lower the cost of care for working families. Well, I hate to break it to them, but being a Republican doesn't shield you from becoming disabled. Nope. Being a Republican won't stop you from aging and from your body changing. Everyone home care at some point. The Republican health care plan is to eliminate Medicare and Medicaid, taking away health care away from millions. There is not a single real Republican proposal to address the long-term care crisis in this country. Home care workers do so much. You deserve to be paid, respected, protected, to have the right to form a union. And we're all here today united in our call to tell Congress that inaction is not an option. Those that are or will become disabled deserve to have quality care in our homes. We deserve to stay in our community. And what we are asking for is the bare minimum. That is why we need to increase accessibility to home care. There are thousands of people on waiting lists for home care, and that is unacceptable. We need to lower costs, and if Congress acts now and invests in home care, we can do that. America is counting on Congress, and it's time to deliver. Care can't wait. Care can't wait. Woo! Invest in care. Woo! Thank you. Woo!
Let's give it up again for LaTanya and Brittany. So next we're going to hear from two of our partners from Little Lobbyists. The first is Jamie Davis Smith. Jamie is a mother of four. She lives right here in Washington, D.C. Jamie is an attorney, a writer, a disability rights advocate, and a member of Little Lobbyists. We'll then hear from Rob Stone, who is another disability rights activist, and a member of Little Lobbyists. He and his mother, Geneva Stone, are here today to raise their voices as a part of this incredible chorus to demand an investment in care. So let's hear from Jamie and Rob and Geneva.
Hi, my name is Jamie Davis Smith. I wear a lot of hats, as you just heard, as an attorney, a writer, an advocate, but my most important job is as a mother to my four children. One of my children, Claire, right here, is 15. She loves being near water and amusement park rides and watching movies, and she can eat an entire container of ice cream in one sitting. It's pretty impressive. She has friends at school, and she loves going to parks with her siblings. Basically, she loves doing all the same things that other kids her age enjoy. But because she has complex medical needs and multiple disabilities, she needs some help to be able to do them. When Claire was younger, she did not have access to home and community-based supports, and I had to give up not just my job, but my entire career to care for her. Because Claire did eventually get access to home and community-based supports, she's been able to grow up where she belongs, with her family. That's right. She has been able to do all of the things that would have been unimaginable without these supports, even simple things like going to summer camp and playing at our neighborhood playground. It wasn't all that long ago that kids like Claire were forced to live in institutions, hospitals, and even nursing homes. That's inhumane. Today, I'm joining home care workers, seniors, and families across the country to urge Congress to pass the Better Care, Better Jobs Act, which would provide badly needed funding for home and community-based services, raise home care wages, and create better jobs. It would also allow 1.1 family caregivers to return to work. Currently, over 800,000 Americans are on state waiting lists due to a lack of funding for home and community-based supports. Claire is just one of 61 million disabled Americans, but we are speaking now with one voice to say, care can't wait. We need action, and we need it now. Since Claire was born, all of my major decisions have been made with the singular goal of ensuring that she retains her access to home and community-based services. We have given up jobs. We've had to live far away from family in order to keep Claire's supports in place. We recently looked into moving again to access programs for Claire's siblings and to be closer to my parents who are not well and who also require a lot of support. What I discovered was that if I moved to another state, Claire would be stuck on the bottom of a wait list for at least 7 years. That prospect was terrifying. If my family had to pay for the services Claire currently receives, it would cost us almost what we bring home every month. I know of no other group of people in this country who have to endure a years-long wait if they want to take a job or live closer to family or just have an adventure. We must invest in home care fully, and we must do it now. Even though Claire has home and community-based supports now, the shortage of home care workers always looms over us. Claire's home care workers are caring, hardworking women. They want the best for her, but they have low wages and do not get paid time off if they are sick or need vacations. Some lack reliable care for their own children. Some home health care workers stack multiple jobs together, working 7 days a week, sometimes 15 hours a day or more, just to make ends meet. Low wages, make it hard to retain the wonderful home care workers we have, and it makes it almost impossible to attract new caregivers. That means that disabled people like Claire lack the stability they need to thrive in their communities. Anyone who says they support American families needs to take action, and they need to do it now. We need a big investment in home care. Many of our leaders in Washington have heard us. They listen and they understand, but not one Republican, not a single one, will commit to take action towards ensuring that people with disabilities like Claire can access the care they need.
This is Rob Stone, and I'm his mom. And I also wanted to introduce Rob's home care nurse, Ryan, who's here in the back. And this is Ziomara over here, and this is Claire. They're also members of Little Lobbyists. Rob wrote his own speech, and he's going to deliver it using his communicator. Sometimes there are glitches, so bear with us.
Services give me control of my own life. I can live where I want. My home care staff help me do the things I want to do, like go to art classes and run my own art website.
I should never on this side.
I also take music classes. I play challenger baseball. And I'm an advocate with Little Lobbyists and the Arc of Maryland.
President Biden.
President Biden wants more money for HCBS, so I can pay my employees a higher wage and hire more staff. President Biden wants to end waiting lists.
Give us one moment so we can resolve the technical difficulties.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
President Biden wants more money for HCBS, so I can pay my employees a higher wage and hire more staff. President Biden wants to end waiting lists.
Mad at Republicans.
I'm mad at Republicans because not one of them will help Joe Biden help people like me so we can live at home with dignity and independence. Home care now.
Okay. So, should we repeat anything? Oh, that was it. If you want to start at the beginning, here, I'll have him say it one more time at the top. Okay. Say this one more time. You got it. You can do it. You can do it. You got it. One more. You got it. One more time. Can you hit that one, please? You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. It's too excited. It's hard to use. It's hard to do.
Home and community-based services give me control of my own life. I can live where I want. My home care staff help me do the things I want to do, like go to art classes and run my own art website.
Can you just do it one more time?
Home and community-based services give me control of my own life. I can live where I want. My home care staff help me do the things I want to do, like go to art classes and run my own art website. I also take music classes. I play challenger baseball. And I'm an advocate with Little Lobbyists and the Arc of Maryland. President Biden wants more money for HCBS, so I can pay my employees a higher wage and hire more staff. President Biden wants to end waiting lists.
Last one. This is the last one. Can you get it? Do you need a little help?
I'm mad at Republicans. Because not one of them will help Joe Biden, help people like me, so we can live at home with dignity and independence. Home care now.
Okay, thank you.
Beautiful job. Thank you all for being here with us. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros.
That's what we do. So let's give it up again for our little lobbyists. And so next we're going to hear from a home care worker from Pennsylvania, Lolita Owens. Lolita is a member of SEIU Healthcare Pennsylvania and United Home Care Workers of Pennsylvania. Lolita has been fighting for better pay, safe working conditions. Thank you. Look at that. Better pay, safe working conditions, and access to affordable care for many, many years. Let's give Lolita a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon! Who are we? No, that needed to be a little bit better, y'all, now. Who are we? Who are we? Who are we? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I would like to thank all of you for allowing me to be here today in Washington with all of you. My name is Lolita Owens, and I'm a home care worker in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm here proud to represent my union, SEIU Healthcare of Pennsylvania. I just want to say, I wasn't in this business. It's not the business that I chose to be in. But when you make plans and you want God to laugh, that's what happens. I've been given the gift of wanting to take care of people and have the love and compassion to do this work. Because you can't be in this business and not worry about or take care or take and have concerns when it comes to consumers who need care. You got some that think that home care is a welfare to work program. But we all know that's a big fat lie. We are all here today because we care about the fact of that we're home care workers, the fact of that we take care of people in the communities in which we live and work for. We are here today because some of us had to come from out of another industry to take care of their parents, their relatives. Some of us are here today because some of us don't even have health insurance. Some of us are here today because low wages, no benefits. Some of us are here today because it's time for that, right there, for them to hear us. It's time for them to know we are no longer going to take it. It's time for y'all to get up off your behinds and do what's necessary. Home care cannot wait. Care cannot wait. It is so time for them to realize that we are part of society. We take care of the most vulnerable people in this country across the United States of America. It is time for us to be able to celebrate. But we can't because we're back here once again because they want to shrug their feet. They want to make big corporations take and have more money, but we're the ones that take and do the work. We're the ones that they say are essential workers. or heroes will treat us like that. Let us know that that's what you really feel and give it into our pays. Give it into health care. Give it into education and training because we are the ones that do it. We still continue to fight the fight for the basic rights, human rights that we need to have, that we need to take and be able to survive as home care workers across this state. So now we're back here again. And we don't stop. Home care workers across the United States of America don't stop. So I'm about to introduce one of our champions in Pennsylvania, Bob Casey. Yeah, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Bob Casey, I got the pleasure of meeting in February, right on those very steps. And I spoke to him and talked to him and told him about the experiences that home care workers have because we have the same issues. It don't matter what color you are. It don't matter what state you in. We all have the same issues when it comes to health care and home care. Bob Casey is a care champion, a fierce advocate for home care workers and seniors and people with disabilities. So I want to thank him for his support. I want to thank for being here today because, see, if they can't support home care, we need to do what? What do we need to do? What do we need to do? Thank you, Bob Casey.
Hey, let's hear it for Lolita. Now, I want you to know the one thing I said to Lolita, other than thanking her for her introduction, was, I love that purple. Now, you all have great purple on out there, and I'm talking to the SEIU, but I know even Little Lobbyist is wearing a little purple somewhere today. Can you hear me? Go higher? Okay. Or maybe just take this off. Does that help? Yeah. So I know you got a lot of purple, but I didn't get the memo this morning, so I have something that's on its way to being purple. But because of you, all these months, all these even years in some cases, because of your passion, because of your advocacy, because of your experience, we're going to make sure that we live up to that message that you've delivered to Capitol Hill, that care can't wait. We're going to get that done. Now, I want you to know something. I'm someone who's been fighting some of these battles a long time. But I didn't know what I needed to know until I started visiting with home care workers in Pennsylvania. Visiting with those who are providing the care and visiting with those who are the beneficiaries, the recipients of that care. Because you have to get to know both, as you know better than I do. If you're an elected official, you've got to hear the voices of both. People who are doing that work every day, that noble, heroic work that Lolita just talked about in the work that she does, that work of love and compassion to care for another human being, to lift them up, to affirm their dignity, and to allow them to have a life of dignity, a life that is focused on the future. You've provided that. But if you're an elected official, we've got to hear from both. And you made that possible for me. When I was able to hear directly from workers, to visit workers and those they were working with, sometimes in a home setting, which is in some ways the most revealing, about the limitations that people live with, about the challenges they have. You provided me with that opportunity. And you did more than that. Because of the work that you did, not only in a state like mine, but in every other state. We had senators from all across the country. Unfortunately, only Democrats. We know that. But even Democrats who weren't as aware of this issue, didn't fully understand the message that we were all trying to deliver a year ago or 2 years ago. But because of you, because of your work, because of your passion, they understand this issue. Democratic senators do. And that's why by the end of the debates of 2021, we not only had 25 or 30 or 35 or 40, we had 50 Democratic senators ready to support home and community-based services funding. That's because of you. You did that. Here's the problem. We didn't get an agreement on the overall bill. So we have work to do on that. And I'm not going to say that our work is done because we haven't passed the bill yet. So we're going to work to make sure this gets done. But this bill isn't just another piece of legislation. We pass things up here all the time that don't always directly affect people's lives. This does. This is about better care for people who need that care. Seniors, people with disabilities, people who need help every day to get through their day. This bill and this policy is about better jobs for home care workers, giving home care workers the opportunity to join a union like SEIU, right? And all the benefits that come with that. But you know what? When someone joins a union, there's no question it's good for them and good for their families. But it's good for the rest of us. When we have more unions, America is stronger. When we allow people to bargain collectively and join a union, our economy is stronger. And of course, our workforce is stronger. So I want you to know that the message you've delivered and you're delivering here today has reached all the way up there, all the way to the White House, all the way to the House and the Senate. Now, I have to say, I know you heard from Debbie Dingell, United States Representative Dingell, recently, this morning. She and her team in the House got it done. They got a bill passed. We in the Senate have work to do to get that done. And that's why I appreciate you being here, in person, traveling, making the case, bringing your story, bringing your family's stories right to Capitol Hill. So the sign there says, Senate, finish the job, invest in home care. That's what we're going to do. God bless you, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let's give it up for our champion, Senator Bob Casey. It's great. Thank you. Yeah. Next up, we have a treat for you all. We're going to hear from Celisa Grant. Celisa is an author and a poet, and she is the author of In These Black Hands. It's a collection of poetry that highlights Black love and resilience. Celisa is also a professor at Nova Community College and a doctoral student in the education department at Howard. Let's give it up and a warm welcome for Celisa.
Good afternoon. I want to thank SEIU and Frontline Action Hub for having me here today. I'm so glad to be here with you. And I want to thank all of you for being here. I am a doctoral student, I am an educator, but I'm also a mother, and I'm a daughter, and I'm a person who cares about people. And that's why I think we're all here today. So thank you very much for being here. My poem is called Essential Women. It's written for people like my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, Black and brown women who have served and cared for people since we arrived on these shores hundreds of years ago. Essential women. 1, we watched our mothers leave us. They washed and dressed deliberately. They did not slam doors. They folded them gently into door frames, leaving their clean scents lingering in hallways. They would always return. Many lightless hours later, with dried weariness in their hands and thick sorrow pulsing in their throats, They came home to find dishes in the sink and shoes piled high at the front door. They came home to find us, to find stories of a cold white world snatching at their warm brown babies, a white world playing tic-tac-toe with their children's lives. They left another woman's babies who clung to their blue skirt hems and rocked in their bright brown arms, the bright brown arms that those children believed belonged to them. Our mothers lifted those blonde and sandy brown heads from their full bosoms and collected their things for the long walks to the bus stop, the long rides to our side of town, left the mammy back in those other people's foyers, and came home to us, came home to be mama. 2, being mama meant her hands were always hard. They carried me, carried the heavy words she could not speak. She told me once, these hands look just like my mama's used to. When I looked up from my book to see, she tucked them away and continued on to say, read your book, little girl. I wasn't talking to you. But I was the only one there. I was the only one listening. I listened to her groan, bending down to open the bottom kitchen cabinets, listened as she inhaled sharply, standing back up. I listened as she whispered her fiercest prayers to God and the ancestors, asking for strength, begging for my life to look like anyone's but hers. I kept reading my book, watching my hero fight with her fears in the corner of my eye, listening all the while. 3, I never nursed my boys past a few weeks apiece because of the time I spent away. I left them day after bitter day. When I returned to a dark house and hungry eyes, I settled in between my mama's dreams and my baby's sweet exhales. I pulled the costume from my faded brown skin and slipped back in to me. I lifted my chin and unpacked my now empty breasts, lifted my chin and let my eyes dash about the room, looking my people in their deep black pupils, holding my face against theirs. I spread my smile, my voice, my laughs all about the house, making sure not to miss any corners or cracks. I brought alchemy with me to the kitchen and filled gaps, holes, chasms with my mama magic. I saved all my best things for moments like these. I saved all my best me for minutes within those walls. Kissed my boys' noses and chubby black feet. Maybe mama couldn't nurse them, but mama made sure they would eat. 4, my baby sister thinks of Billie Holiday's blues while watching the tree branches wave goodnight to one another. She waits impatiently for the 70 bus. Her feet seem to sink even deeper into her faded white sneakers, hands dry from scrubbing. She keeps checking the cheap Timex that she got herself for her birthday this year. It keeps good time for how little it costs. She likes when things turn out that way. One day, she'll have a stately grandfather clock like the family she cleans for. Mahogany and regal, just like her. She's saving up and cannot wait to buy it. Mama says it's a waste of money, but she knows it's not. She loves to stand in front of that clock and watch its limbs dance, watch the gold arms rotate and listen as the world ticks by. She can only get a good look here and there. There is always work to be done. She takes her time dusting, cleaning, the brush solid and smooth in her hand rough and steady, like our grandmother's was. She watches time pass and listens to the clock tell stories of women like her, mahogany women, washing, cleaning, caring, cooking, kissing, loving, singing, swaying, waiting, feeding, crying, laughing, remembering, checking their reflections in the faces of cool glass, worrying about the time, worrying about the cost. 5, these women, we women, we have always been, will always be essential. Care workers doing the job of humanity while living on leased dreams and fighting to provide for our families. We are not invisible. We have always been there, here. We are America's darkest secrets, sweetest whispers, deepest desires. Our bodies, the foundations, fuel. Our work, forging survival from flame and from fire. Thank you.
Let's give it up for our tech squad that's helping us out today. They are on the case. And thank you so much for Lisa, that was beautiful, for sharing her amazing gift and art with us. Next up, we got Laura Costantino, who was an amazing home care worker from the amazing SEIU Local 2015 in California. Laura has been a care worker for over 20 years. Laura provided care for her mother full-time until she passed away, and she now provides care for consumers living with fixed incomes. And she's joined today by her consumer, Nikki Otto, excuse me. Let's give it up for Laura and Nikki.
Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. Like April said, my name is Laura Costantino. I live in California, Los Angeles, California. I've been a home care worker for over 23 years. We should never have to beg for a living wage. It's always a fight. Everything's a fight. You know, that's what we do. We're in purple, we're royalty, but we fight, fight, fight. SEIU 2015 is in California. Right now, we are bargaining for our contract. That's a fight. We should, like I said, we should not have to beg for a living wage. Okay, so most of us know that we don't all, most of us don't all get health care. In Los Angeles, California, we need to work 77 hours for the in-home supportive service as a provider, 77 hours per month in order to get the health care. If you don't have 77 hours per month, you do not get health care. So that means you have to go out of pocket, or you have to apply for Medicaid, which is Medicare. Medi-Cal, I'm sorry. So now I take care of Nikki. This is Nikki. Nikki is a cancer survivor. And I've been taking care of Nikki for 13 years. And she's going to say some words in our behalf.
Hi, guys. Is this on? No, this one. I'm going to stand up for you guys. Like Laura said, she has been caregiving for me for what I feel over 13 years, but I became disabled in a blink of an eye, just that quick. Didn't know I was fine, healthy, nice cushy jobs like the people up there. Had it made. Right? Never thought nothing. Perfect health. I opened my back door one day. Next thing I know, the door was opening, and in came a doctor. Had no idea what happened to me. Don't know. All I know is the next time I seen a doctor come in that room, 3 months later, I was told I had to go to a nursing home or somehow find somebody to take care of me at my own house. And I said, I'm like, well, why? I can take care of myself. You know, I've always been headstrong, thinking I can do everything on my own. It literally broke me because I didn't even know what IHSS was. Had no idea. Didn't know until the maid who cleaned the hospital rooms told me what IHSS was, what they did. That day, I had 2 days left before they sent me to a convalescent home, which in turn would have left me homeless, I would never seen my care dog, I would have lost everything that I earned my whole life working for. And this nurse introduced me to somebody she called, I have no idea. Within that afternoon, I had an IHSS person in my room doing an intake from IHSS. At first, she had an IHSS to come home with me, so I did not have to go to that convalescent home. I thank that woman. I broke down. I cried. From that day, the IHSS union, I have learned so much about. You guys don't make nothing what you're worth. To me, you guys are worth 3 times what you're getting paid, okay? There is no dollar amount that they can put on what you guys make. You guys, I found out that my caregivers, including Laura, they don't even get a paid vacation, okay? When I was working, I got a week vacation for every year. My caregivers don't get 1 day vacation paid, and that's wrong. That's just, you guys get paid 2 sick days out of the year. 2. That's wrong. That's wrong. You guys are essential workers. You guys, during COVID, I can only speak for myself. My caregivers were there. They were working, while those people over there were at their cushy little homes watching TV, collecting their COVID checks. Okay? While my people were busting their butt, taking care of me. And I'll tell you right now, to those people, I will make them a deal to switch places with me for a week. I will take their jobs if they take my part and take my caregiver's part. Let them come and take care of me for 1 day. I guarantee they won't make it. They will not make it. But I would never be a caregiver. Never. Because, 1, they work too much. They work their ass off. Excuse my French. Okay? They don't make enough money for what they do. They need, the gas is going sky high, the groceries going sky high, and my caregivers are breaking their behinds trying to make ends meet. Like I said, to me, they can't pay you guys enough. They need to give you all $50, and that still wouldn't be enough. Because you guys' job is so essential, it's not funny. I mean, I don't know how to thank you for everything that this union has done for me, much less taught me. I have learned a lot. The first time I stepped into the union, I have been speaking on your behalf, and proudly so. I will stand by you guys till the day I die. You guys have been my family. You have been there, and I love you. And what they need to know up there is one day, I'm not going to mention names, but they're going to need your care too. And they need to recognize that they are going to become old and aged and need your help. And that's when they're going to come and regret this day if they do not put you in their little Build Back Better plan or whatever it's called. Because, and one more thing before I shut up, because I know I can keep going. But you see this? In LA, I learned something about a hand, okay? We all got them. Whether you're a caregiver, whether you're a disabled person, we all have them. We all can push that button for a vote. We might be disabled people, but our fingers are not disabled. So if they don't want to deliver, you know what? Change that vote. Take that finger and make them give you what they promised. Your hands are your power. Your hands are your power, and remember that. And even though I'm disabled and everybody else is disabled, we still got fingers. We got hands. We got a caregiver that can punch our ballot. So they don't want to come through. Always remember, in 2 years, there's another election. They were elected for something they promised, and they are not delivering. So you know what? They got to go, or they got to deliver, one or the other. You guys are wonderful. I love all of you all. Thanks for having me.
When we fight, when we fight.
All right, when we fight, because care, it's that too, because care can't wait. We want to thank Senator Casey and Representative Dingle and all of those who came out here today to share their stories and lift their voices. Let's give another round of applause for all of them. We know that care can't wait, but we've always known that care can't wait. We've always known that we have a care crisis that will only get worse as our country continues to age. We also know that there is a solution, don't we? The solution is investing in care. It's in creating more good union care jobs that pay living wages, that lift up care workers, that increases access to quality, affordable care for families, for seniors, for people with disabilities. We know that an investment in care will bring down the costs that so many families are burdened with today and build a stronger future for all of us. It is time for Congress to deliver. You just heard Nikki say it. It is time for them to deliver what they promised, what families truly need, an investment in home care. This is about creating a durable long-term care system where jobs are valued, where people and care are put first, where people and families who want to stay in their communities actually have access to the care and services they need. Together, we can make it happen. We don't have a choice. We must make it happen because care can't wait. Because care can't wait. Care can't wait. So once again, to close us out, I'm going to bring back the Baltimore Urban Inspirational Choir so that we can continue to be lifted. And I wish you all well on your journeys back home. Let's go get it.
Who's number one? B-U-I-C, B-U-I-C, B-U-I-C. Oh! as you keep your head to the sky. As long as you keep your head to the sky, oh, you can win. Oh, keep your head up. Hey, as long as you keep your head to the sky. Oh, to the sky. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. When, as long as you keep your head to the sky, hey, you can win. Hey, as long as you keep your head to the sky, you can win. Oh, you can win. Keep your head. Oh, you can win. As long as you keep your head to the sky. Oh, you can win. Oh, if you believe. Oh, and keep your head to the sky. Oh, oh, hey, keep your what? Keep your H-Hey. U-P and never G-I-V-E. U-P and keep your H-E-A-D. U-P and never G-I-V-E. U-P and keep your H-E-A-D. U-P and never G-I-V-E. U-P and keep your H-E-A-D. U-P and never G-I-V-E. U-P and keep your H-E-A-D. U-P and never G-I-V-E. U-P and keep your H-E-A-D. U-P and never G-I-V-E. Whoa, keep your head to the sky. Hey, you keep your head to the sky. Hey, you can win as long as you keep your head to the sky. Hey, you can win as long as you keep your head to the sky. I see. Hey. Woo. that you need to borrow for. No one can fill those of your needs if you won't let darling on. When you're not strong, you know I'll be your friend.
can't wait, what? Can't wait, what? Can't wait, yeah. Say, can't wait.